So you guys are here for surviving MSG funding training. I'm Mallory, and I will be the Chief Financial Officer for next year. I will handle any emails, any questions or concerns you all have.
Hello everyone, I'm Dara Ballard and I'm the Deputy Financial Officer for the Financial Affairs Department. I will be accepting and declining you all's event requests, budget requests.
Yeah, Dara.
Whoa!
So we'll be talking about accessing the funding policy as well as just a step-by-step walkthrough of the funding policy today. Most of the questions you might have is going to be about Get Involved, and that will be, we'll have a video presentation during the summer as well as training in the beginning of the year.
Yep.
Okay, so orgs that are not eligible, you guys know if you're eligible or not, and for each request is for per event, so one request per event, not two requests, not three, one request per event. That's how we fund it, and it will be through Get Involved MU.
Yes. And then also, we do encourage you all to like collab with each other, so co-sponsoring, but we only will approve one budget. Prime example, let's just say MUGC and DMOLA Leadership and Community Service Club, they want to collab with each other. And let's just say both of them submit a budget request. No, one of them will get declined, so only one budget request will get approved.
So for all the money that you need in one request.
Can I go back?
Yeah.
How does that, like, what does that mean for orgs, like, when they want to split the cost of an event?
So we want you guys to, we should have said this in the beginning, but we want you guys to hold off like all the questions for like at the end, because we'll answer everything, and then also we'll display something up here, because we'll have questionnaires at the end for you guys.
Okay.
But for, if you're having an event with another org, it's one event, so just put one request, not two. Okay, so you'll register through EMS and Get Involved MU. We just discussed that it's one request per event, and will take about 2 to 4 weeks to process.
And what she means by that, that means like 20 business days, just like Peter and Miss Ebony mentioned. And then also for submitting a budget request, it's one per event, and then you guys will have to wait until we approve. And then also, please reach out to the CSC if you're having any trouble with the request. Just because with the new system, you know, there's gonna be, you know, some glitches and everything. So we ask that everyone will be patient, because along with you all learning the new process for Get Involved in the EMS, we are learning as well.
Yes. And then after you purchase anything, you have within 48 hours of the purchase to submit your receipt or proof of purchase, and then we'll process that as well within 20 business days.
What was that?
Okay.
You go back.
Yeah, you're right.
We'll give y'all one more second to write down what y'all need. And then also, if you guys would like our presentation, we could send it to you all, so please just stay back after, so that way we can write you all's names down, or we could just send it to everyone.
And we will have a more refined walkthrough throughout the middle of the summer.
So for the types of funding requests, we will do event, we will do org sync, and we will also do conference. To break down event, funding for a campus-wide event cannot exclude anyone, a part of the campus. And also, if you require a payment for your event, MSG will not fund your event just because of, if you're asking for students, to pay, that's not within our policy. And prime examples of that is raffle tickets, selling raffle tickets, giving away gift bags, and etc. And then or specific, for anything that, you all will need like help, that can like help out the purpose of your organization. We also can fund that as well. It's $75, that we give out. And then also, like an example of that is like t-shirts, or gear, involvement fair, if you guys need candy, decorations, and then also exec board, bonding, if you guys wanna do retreats, you can, submit, a budget request for the $75, so that way it can go towards that. And then lastly, is conference. This is still under construction. We'll talk about it a little later to get you all's input to see what you all would like to see. But this is funding to help you all evolve your leadership.
Okay, so this upcoming year, there'll be a total of 10 funding periods. We're gonna have one a month, and we plan on having the funding open and close both at the beginning of the month. So they'll be pretty much the same for each funding period. And MSG only funds in between the school year, so it'll be August in between May.
So, now it's time for the conference funding. We wanna know, like, what's your thoughts? This previous year, we've only, allowed you all to, attend like one conference, and the amount was $250 that we allowed for you all, to budget out. So we would like to know, like, what's the number that you guys, see fit in, what's, how many times you guys think that, you all should be allowed to go on things like that. So just, you know, tell me your thoughts, raise your hand, and we'll go around the room.
You said like $250, right?
Yeah, so in the previous years, it was $250, and you were only, funded for one.
Okay, so in that instant, I know like $250 isn't a lot of money for a conference in general. So if we would have to provide our own funds, would we still request funding from MSG? Because we would have to cover the cost in some way.
Right, it's not gonna cover the full conference cost. MSG will only be subsidizing. So what they're asking you all is what is a fair number for us to help you subsidize? Because in the past, it was only $250. If you guys go to conferences, you know, one registration could be $250, right?
Yeah.
So the question that Mallory and Dara are asking, what is a fair amount so that we can make sure that it's fair across the board, all right? And then the second question they're asking is, how many times could people request conference funding? Do we do it at one time? You only can do it one time? Can we give them 2 times, multiple times? What is that? What would be fair? So they're just trying to gauge some feedback from you all so that they can make a decision.
So helping break that down a little bit, are there any conferences that occur more than once a year? Because
So I guess it just like depends on like your org, really, cause I know that like Crew, they do multiple like conferences like throughout, and then they also do like mission trips. So like they do one in the fall, like towards December, and then they do one during the spring. So it just all depends on like what you all like wanna do. I know ABC, they do one in February, so it just differs.
Alex, were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say there's hundreds of conferences held every year that apply to all kinds of different specific topics. There's ones like Big 12 for ADC is focused on like Black collegiate experience often. I know LSA does usually up in Chicago, but there's hundreds every year. So it's it's more a matter of how many do you think are appropriate for an org to request funds to go to.
Yeah. And then also, how long do you guys like want it to be like open up to? Because last year it opened up in August, and then I think it closed in like maybe October or so. another idea, it could be open up all year for you guys to submit a budget request instead of like having a deadline. I did see his hand first.
Oh, so in terms of like number of conferences, I think definitely raise it to probably 2 or 3 depending.
Okay.
So I know for, at least for LSA, we might wanna go, I know we don't apply for MSG funding, but if we want to go on, say, a leadership specific retreat and then a cultural, like one in New York specific retreat, those are 2 very different things, and I don't think we should have to be forced to choose between our leadership or learning about our culture. We should be able to take in both.
Okay. I did see her hand, and I'm gonna come around.
So is this for the whole year or the school year? Because for Best Buddies, our conference is at the end of July. So would we have funding for that because it's in the summer?
You would have to apply during the school year, so it is 1 year and, which is our academic year, if that makes sense. So since your conference is in July, as the rules state now, you would have had to apply for that money by, what, October? So what I've asked MSG to think about is, do we just not have those parameters and set it in the funding periods that they've already have established, and you can just apply for conference funding in any of the funding periods? And then they set parameters around the conference, right? So, bless you, you may only be able to, get a certain amount of money, and once you hit that threshold, you're done, right? But you can apply for a conference in any of the funding periods. So it would have to be during our academic year, even if the conference is in the summertime. Does that make sense?
Scotty, then D.
I was just like about the how many times we can fund. I think that you should leave it. I think personally you should leave it open all year, just because like since they have their big conference in July, I feel you should set the same. You should set somewhat of the same parameters that you set up for applying for regular funding, the 20 business days and the 4 business days. I feel like it should be something like that, but it shouldn't be like 20 business days before. It should be like maybe like 40, just so like you have that, just so you have that time to look at it and approve and be like, okay, here you go.
Okay.
I want to agree with Scotty on that, just because I know for MOC there is like a national conference, and the registration period's in like late August, early September, but the conference isn't until like the end of the school year. So like having it open all year to like actually like be able to see if you're gonna be able to go, even if you do turn in the application, like we would pay for the application, but we would use that funding to help us get there, just cause like we either have to fly or drive, but like the money would help with it.
What should the threshold be? I think that's a bigger conversation, because right now it's at $250, and now you all have to think about this. We don't have an unlimited amount of money to send you all on conferences. The money that you request from MSG is not gonna cover all of your fees to go to the conference. So just understand that, it's to help, all right? So you would have to contribute as well. But what should the threshold be so that, and keep in mind, we have 130 plus organizations that would be able to do this. So what is a fair threshold that we can hold everyone accountable for and say that if you apply for conference funding, you can get it 1 time or possibly 2 times, I don't know, and what would be a fair amount?
So, you were saying earlier that like just the registration fee to go to a conference would be around $250. So would you guys be willing to work with orgs on a like 1-by-1 basis and kind of, I don't know, I feel like.
Unfortunately, I know, yeah. Sometimes.
Cause how do you pinpoint a number when you don't even?
Well, it just depends. So again, MSG is not a bank, right? We are here to help. So it would depend. It depends on what the conference is. It depends on how long the conference is. All those things like MSG or CAB could go to a summer institute this summer that the registration fee could be $50. Well, if we had a cap for $250, that could send multiple people to that conference, right? So all of those things depend. We really can't do anything on a one-on-one basis because we have to set a rule that would apply for 130 organizations, right? Because we have that pot of money that we would have to set that rule and that guideline. So we're just asking for feedback because right now $250 is where it's at, and that's kind of low, right? And so that's what we've heard. So what would be a feasible amount that we could give you to help you,
Right.
not fully fund you?
So just throw out some numbers. I see a couple of hands. Curtis, then
Does that
Scotty,
answer your question?
then what's your name, sweetie?
Bailey.
Bailey,
Does that help answer your
and
question?
then
Okay.
MJ.
So I feel like,
Ben Cam, sorry.
I feel like if you're extending it to like 2 to 3 times a year,
Bless you.
I kind of feel like 500 to 650 would be very gracious. Just because like you're extending the conferences, you're opening it up to 2 to 3. So it's
Maybe, she just.
maybe 2 to 3.
thoughts.
Maybe
Yeah,
2 to 3,
maybe.
yeah. But like that would be more than like what we have now, and it'll give different organizations a chance to go to those different conferences.
Okay, Scotty.
What about like paying a quarter of it? Like,
We need a number.
well, because, okay, I only say that because, say that like, there's a conference that's 1,000, like, it's 1,000 for everyone to go, like, it's just,
$250.
no,
It's $250.
dropped to 1,000. Oh, it is? Oh,
Yeah.
shoot, my fault. But, my second thought would be like, yeah, I feel Curtis on the 500 to 600, but like, I wouldn't want it to be like, I feel like it shouldn't be over 500, mainly because you do give money out to other orgs. So I'd say like 500, 550 maybe, just so other people have that opportunity.
I guess this is sort of a question, but I was also gonna bring up like 500, but say we were gonna go to like a conference, it's not gonna cost us that much to get in. If I was only gonna send like 2 people, and it's only gonna cost us 200, can I say, hey, I wanna go to this conference, but I don't need that full 500, I only need this much?
Yep.
Yeah.
You only request the amount that you need.
Okay.
Yep, it's a max that we're looking for. not
I
a-
didn't know if it was just a set number that you send for everyone, or.
No, we're just looking for like a max to give folks to say,
Oh.
you can't get asked for more than this for a conference. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I agree with what everybody has been saying. I do think 600 is very reasonable though, considering like we're thinking of doing 2 to 3 times a year. Also keeping in mind that not all organizations go on conferences, so like you wouldn't be funding like everybody too. Like I know there's like over 100 orgs on campus, but not all of them attend conferences too. So then those who do need it have that.
But MJ, just to bring up, it's still coming from the same pot of money. though.
Yeah.
So just to keep that in perspective,
And it
so,
does apply to all 100.
and it does apply, so it would be like, well, if we don't set a number that's reasonable, then someone could say, well, I applied for the money, and then the money wouldn't be there. And so we need to think about that, so it does make a difference, so I just want y'all to think about those variables. We wanna set a threshold so that if someone does apply for that amount of money, then we have it, you know?
And then I've seen Cam Ham, Opal Y, and Mehek.
Oh shoot, it's my turn.
Well.
I said, yeah, I'm good with 600. I think 600 is a good number, and I'm just leaving it at that.
Opal Y?
So, how this funding process works, you open it up to 2 to 3 times a year, so we would be able to apply for this amount of money 2 to 3 times a year.
So that's one of, that's one of the options. Right now, the option is you can apply in a window, and I don't believe they set how many times that you could apply for that money. What I had threw out to MSG was just having you be able to apply all year, doesn't matter what the window is, it's just within the funding periods. And then setting a cap saying that each organization can only apply for up to a certain amount. So you could apply for as many conferences as you wanted to, but when you hit the threshold, 600, if that's the number we choose, you can't apply for any more funding for conferences because you hit your threshold.
And
So that's what,
the 500 to 600, is that for, that's per org, not per person?
per org,
Per org.
yes, very important. I wish we had money for per person.
Yeah.
That would be amazing, but no.
Okay, Mehek.
Hey, I'm rich.
So, since all this money comes like from the same like pot, I think that if we shouldn't do it from 2 to 3 times a year, I think it should be either 1 or 2. Because since it is coming from the same pot of money, like a lot of us orgs who don't get funding through like D&I, like we don't get like I want us to get the same opportunity to like have events and stuff, cause like I love conferences, like going to conferences is like such an amazing opportunity, cause you get like networking and like you get to learn, like educate yourself so much, but like that's like also an extra step, and like I feel like events should also be kind of like on like, cause like I want people like to get funding for their events also, and like since that is coming from the same pot of money, will people get funding for their events too?
it's coming from the same pot of money, so you
Yeah.
have a very valid point.
That's
So,
good.
yeah, you have a
We
very
don't wanna
valid
run out
point.
of money.
So that's why we're bringing this to you all, because we didn't wanna make this decision on our own. If your decision will have implications on your event money,
Yeah.
so yes.
And I think that like $500 is a good amount. Like, I would like, since it's like $250 right now, like 500 would be a great like amount. But like even like something that's like 400 or like 450, that would be great too, because anything's gonna help, you know?
Okay. Are there any other thoughts that we missed and you all wanna say something?
Yeah, kind of what she's saying. I think we need to keep in mind that like events are gonna like impact a lot more people than like a conference would, because events are like campus wide, but like conferences like organization like specific. Like you only a few people go from each organization, and while it could be great and like you could bring back great things, like events on campus are gonna be like attended more. I don't think there's impact.
Are there any others? Are there any others? Are there any others?
So we'll take this feedback back to MSG Executive Board and we'll make a decision, but we just wanted you all's input on that, so thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna go through purchase submissions. So, as I stated before, you do have within 48 hours to turn in your receipt from the purchase date. And we do want the full receipt or a full proof of submission when you turn it in. And then we'll go through the violation policy. So, this is more of a strike system. It's not really what was it last year, like a warning or something. So we're trying to implement, make sure everybody does everything correctly, and we will try to teach you guys so none of the problems occur. So violation 1, if your organization forgets to turn in your receipt, I will send you a request to turn it in, mostly by email, and you have within 5 business days to turn it in. Okay. So then, if you don't submit it within the 5 business days in violation 1, then you move to violation 2. And so that's a second strike, and then I will give you another 5 business days to turn in your receipt. And then, if you don't turn in your receipt within those 5 days on violation 2, you will be banned for the semester. So if another occurrence happens and you forget to turn in your receipt, you will be banned for the year. Is there any questions?
Clarification, if I get 1 violation and then I turn in my receipt in 5 days, do I still have that violation?
Yes, you do.
Okay. Does everybody get that? Once you go on violation 1,
there's no
you
restart.
There's no restart, right?
So the next
Is it, okay,
Wait.
so you're saying we're warning to turn in the application, so is that like, so we submit a budget and then we buy things, and then how would you know if we like don't turn it in within 48 hours?
Because it's supposed to go to
Yeah.
us.
You have to upload the receipt, and then the documentation, when we say documentation, that means receipts. That means from, if the receipt is this long, that means submit the whole entire receipt, so that way we know when it was purchased, what location, how much you purchased, and what items you purchased.
Okay, so if we would submit a receipt that was like 3 days later instead of like 48 hours, would that be like the first violation?
Yeah, cause it did say
Yes.
2. But you still said 5.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
To be quite honest, we're having big trouble with people not submitting their receipts. If you don't submit your receipt, then we can't cover your funding for your organization. The receipt shows us that you spent the money, and then we have to do a whole bunch of accounting on the back end. And it is a nightmare. You need a reimbursement, you need this, you need that. Well, we can't do anything without your proper documentation and your receipts. So 48 hours after you make that purchase, you go right on OrgSync, or it'll get involved in you upload your receipt, and it starts the process. So that's what we need from you all, and then if you don't start doing that, then the violation program will start to go into full effect.
Yeah, and there's a lot of hands. MEHEC, you don't have hand up. MEHEC, the Miles, and then Curtis.
Since it's like 48 hours, like, you know how, sometimes like if we have technical difficulties, if it's like within the, if we're like trying to submit it, and like we kinda have problems, can we like schedule a meeting with one of you two and you guys can help us?
You can email us, as long as you guys communicate, because I'll be the person, along with Mallory, I'll be the main person that'll be like approving, declining, like really seeing like what you guys are doing within the system. So once I see that no receipts have been submitted, then I'll communicate that with Mallory, so that way she can send you all an email. So I ask that you communicate with, me or Mallory, just so we could be aware of what's going on, because we do understand that things happen, but communication is key.
Send an email.
Yeah.
If you don't
Yeah.
get, if something happens with the system, which it does, right? Send Mallory an email within that 48 hours, all right? Don't wait, because the system is available 24/7. You can do it at 3 o'clock in the morning if you need to, right? So send an email at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're trying to upload your receipt and say, I've tried, the system's messing up, can you give me an extra couple hours to fix it? Absolutely.
And make sure it's an email, not a text message, not a snap. It's an MSG official business. So it has to go through an email because it protects you and it protects us.
Mm-hmm. That lets us know, you know, it's documented. What did I say? D, okay.
Darius, Miles, then Curtis.
So I know like this year we submitted receipts on Orchard. So next year will we submit on EMS?
Nope,
Or
get involved in you.
Get involved, okay. And just like for precautionary email if necessary, right?
Yes,
Like, yeah.
just like what we just talked about.
Miles, then Curtis.
So obviously CAP isn't getting funding from MSG, but does this violation policy also apply to?
This is for MSG funding.
Okay.
That's MSG funding.
Okay.
Curtis.
So, will you guys, like, is there, like, do we just have to set up a time where you guys show us how to do it, or will you guys show us how to do it, like people do, or?
Yeah, well, we do have training that will be for both semesters, and then we will also upload a video platform so you guys can walk through, look at it as many times as you want.
Yes. Video will be uploaded, in July. Date to be.
Okay, second part of my question is, never mind. I think it's just with the org, never mind.
Any more questions? Okay, so org-specific funds, as we discussed, are $75 for one time per semester. So you can ask for fall, and then you can ask for spring. And then conference is to be announced. We did discuss it earlier. And is there anything else?
So just for events, the cap is $3,000. If you do not need to use $3,000 for your event, please only use the money that you need. So if you need to like budget out like for decorations, for food, whatever it is, please only request money that you need, because in our allocations meeting, we recommend that the treasurer do come, so that way we know what you guys are using the money for, and that way you guys can get approved for the amount that's needed. And then for prizes, you cannot exceed over $500.
And if there's a big event, it'll be most likely where we send you a message for you to just come to the allocation meeting, and you can discuss what your event is for, or why you feel so strongly about it, for us to determine if it's if we're gonna do that cap. Okay.
Can you go back, please?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for like $3,000, is that like a one-time event, limit, or can we like use that like throughout the semester? If
So-
we submit like different budgets?
Sure. So it's per event. So let's just say Abel, you guys did the friend speeding, and I'm not sure what other events that you guys do, but it's per event. Your cap is $3,000. You don't have to use all of that if you do not.
Okay, thank you.
If you have leftover money from it, where does that go?
it goes right back into the pool for everybody else.
So we don't allocate you $3,000. We're just saying that when you budget, if you need MSG help, you can have up to $3,000 for your help, right? You get that? So say you were like planning out your budget and you need $15,000 for the event, you can apply for $3,000 to get from MSG, and we need to know exactly what that's for. And what she's saying, sometimes people plan for that $3,000 and then they don't spend that $3,000. So when they don't, we just reallocate that to another organization. And so that's why we need your receipts, because we can't reallocate money if we don't know how much you spent. Does that make sense? That's why we put the little strikes in place, because we need those receipts, okay?
Any other questions? Anybody else writing?
So, as you know, we have the Programming on the Go, which is the POG system. That's within the CSC. There is a person that's over it. I'm not sure if Louise is still over it. He's here. So basically, when you guys like go out, let's just say like you're having a spring concert, you have bases that you guys purchased from Walmart. If you guys purchase that through MSG funding, that can be reused. So therefore, you would donate those items to the CSC, and then Louise, he'll put that into Programming on the Go. Are any of you aware of like the Programming on the Go Red Book? Nobody?
Yeah, I guess.
Some of y'all? Okay. So basically, those are reused items that people use from MSG funding. That way, when you recycle those items, that way other organizations can use those. And then also, like I said, there's a full catalog of those items, and it's located within the CSC.
Okay, so, we do not fund back funding, so any event that you've had in the past and you ask us for money, we do not fund those. And you cannot have your event before we approve, or you just paid for your event. Is there any questions?
Yes.
Darius?
I know I've seen this before, because being a treasurer last year, there were a couple of events that we had, and we had our budgets in way before it. Like, we had them in during, like, right after the retreat, but, like, certain events got approved, and then, like, certain events were still pending, and they were in the same semester. So, how would that work?
So when you submit, let's just say you have an event, right? And you submit a budget request for that event, and let's just say it gets approved. Well, whatever you put within, like on OrgSync, how it was, it had like different like subscription boxes where you can put like, okay, this is how much we need for decorations, this is how much we need for food and drinks. Well, that's what the money that you use, it needs to be used for that event only. Because if you submit another event and then you start purchasing things for that event and it hasn't been approved, well then that's when that gets penalized. You can't do that. Basically, and especially like, let's just say you pay for something out of your own pocket and you pay for it before it's been approved, that's considered like back funding. Does everybody get that? So you only start purchasing and buying things if we approve your budget request. Any other questions?
Oh.
Okay.
So wasn't it the same process for like the last 2 semesters where we would have like Friday shoppers or something like that? Or would it still be the same?
Are you saying like it's click and pull around
Yeah,
still?
it was still
Yep,
like-
and we'll get into that too. Yes,
Okay.
that's on the slide.
It might have been on one of the other slides, but how long is the pending process?
It's
20 business days.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, so, for contracts, we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into it. Peter, he is the main contact person. If you have any vendors, any, like entertainment people that need like an invoice or any like contract payments, Peter Michelle, he's your main contact person. Please take down his email address. Just because of MSG, we do not deal anything with contracts. The CSC does. And please allow 20 business days at minimum in advance to submit your contracts for payment. And just like Peter said earlier within the leadership retreat, if you know who your vendors are, you can start submitting your contracts now. You can start doing the process now. That way, their payment will be here on time. And that way, it also helps him, so that way he won't be backed up throughout the year, since he's dealing with all the contracts.
The sooner the better. This is just a minimum of 20 business days.
Any questions?
Okay. Click and pull and Walmart cart. Not cart. So you can still do click and pull now, and staffs do not give their credit card out because of the problems we had last year. And like Curtis said, we still do have the Friday from 1 to 3 for shopping days.
And if anything changes, you all will be notified by the CSC Pro staff.
Any questions?
Okay. So like we kind of said before, MSG, we do not have unlimited funds. We get allocated a certain amount, and basically we have to fund all 130 plus orgs. So we cannot be misusing that. And if you do misuse any of the money, there will be like repercussions for you all, and we do not want to have to go through that. So I just say, if you guys like have any questions, comments, concerns, please just always contact us. We'll have office hours within the CSC, and I know most of you know both of us. So don't hesitate to contact us anytime when you guys need it.
Yeah, and we'll probably, are you gonna post yours on for everybody to view? I think I'm gonna post mine as well, so.
Yep. So is there any last questions that you guys would like to ask?
What's y'all's email?
Oh, yeah, you're
Yes.
right.
So we can write it down.
Yeah. Do you know the dimension? You still weren't giving it? I'll give him my regular. He's gonna get it.
Okay.
Cause I have it on my phone. So you could just
Write yours. Yep. Okay, you guys get the gist.
You have a really long last name.
I do.
Oh, alright. That makes sense.
Is that a one?
Yeah.
So somebody else has had that.
Nobody else has that name.
No, you get, it's usually just your name and then at when I got married, if you're the only one. Nobody
You're
else-
one if you're the first one.
Yeah, you're one for the first one, cause mine is.
Oh, lit.
I damn well know that name. I'm kidding, so- Davenport?
Isn't it? Probably names wouldn't have been Darius, but it could have been some other name from Davenport.
Sure, but I'm.
So that was C. Caldwell before me. There was 3 before me. Yeah, because I'm C. Caldwell too.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Alex, I got it.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Okay.
And then the M, the treasury one.
Yep.
MS treasury. I.marryville.edu.
Wait, so okay. That makes sense.
MS treasury.
Email everybody.
You wanna just send out a big email?
I have a quick question. So the president or the vice president has to request like, to get the event approved. And they also are the only two who can request for money.
So as of right now, we still trying to figure out that process for getting involved in you. So, basically, we'll probably mention it up inside of the training video that we'll upload in July. What's up?
Like what she mentioned, if that's the case, if presidents and VPs can only, do like the event requests and all that, would that be the same thing for treasury? Because I would just eliminate.
Treasury's responsible for it.
Well, no, like
Okay.
the event, like budget request. Like, would that just eliminate?
So that's part of the ongoing system that we're working at right now. We're working together with the event staff and implementing the system, and when it goes live, we'll have more answers. So at the moment, it's just what we're working with right now, and once we like get the system up and going, that's when things will be, we'll change some things around, obviously, to make it what works best for the students.
Any other questions? All right, well, this concludes, surviving financial affairs.
Be on the lookout for our video, as well as we'll have funding training.
Technically, don't have to be back to
I thought it was on the.
I know, I'm about to go back to my room.
I'm sorry.
Well, they're changing it up. They're trying to change it.
Yes, so do you not put in like a whole, do you put in like a whole big budget like we do at the beginning? With the events split out, or do you just put it in like by the event?
No, put them all in at once.
That's why I was getting confused about the whole like 20 days ahead of time. I was like, I have to split this all right now.
Yeah,
I just gotta figure out how the hell to get access to
I want to. I'm sorry, I'm stressing right now. Not really, but I'll be okay.
Am I out of a job?
What are you talking about?
For MOC?
No.
But I'm thinking of my budget request.
A lot of stuff I have to do by myself.
Good thing ABC's on a 12 account.
Okay, I'm gonna get up now.
Why?
I'm sorry, hon.
No, she is. That's why she was shot.
Miles.
Oh, so why you
Miles, I'm stuck.
I'm depressed.
Why? Why?
I don't know.
Same.
You ready, David?
Can I get out?
I was just having